The flashbulbs exploded like gunfire as Senator Eleanor Hargrove stepped onto the stage at the Washington, D.C. gala. Her golden son, Corey, standing tall beside her. At 24, Corey was the picture of perfection, Harvard grad, rising star in her campaign team, the heir to her political dynasty. But that night, as the crowd cheered her anti-LGBTQ bill, Corey's hand trembled in his pocket, clutching a photo of him and his secret boyfriend, Jamie, sharing a stolen kiss under the Brooklyn Bridge. Corey couldn't breathe. The hypocrisy choked him. His mother's speech rang out, "We must protect our families from the erosion of traditional values." The words sliced through him like a knife. He'd planned to tell her privately, but the rage built inside him until he couldn't hold it. After the event, in the limousine ride home, he blurted it out. "Mom, I'm gay. I've been seeing someone, a man named Jamie. I love him." Eleanor's face froze, her eyes narrowing into slits. The car pulled over abruptly on the side of the Potomac Parkway. "Get out!" she hissed, her voice low and venomous. Corey stared, disbelieving. "What?" She leaned forward, her manicured nails digging into the leather seat. "You heard me. If you're choosing this perversion over our family, over everything we've built, then you're no son of mine. Get out now, or I'll make sure you regret it." He stumbled onto the cold asphalt, the limo speeding away into the night. Rain began to fall, soaking his tuxedo as he stood there, alone. His phone buzzed. Text from his sister, Lila, who was 19 and still in college. "What happened?" "Mom's furious." But before he could reply, his access to the family accounts was cut off. Bank apps showed zero balance. His campaign email locked him out. In one fell swoop, Eleanor had begun erasing him. Corey hailed a cab to Jamie's apartment in Georgetown. Jamie, a 25-year-old journalist for a progressive online outlet, opened the door with concern etched on his face. "Corey? What's wrong?" Corey collapsed into his arms, sobbing. "I told her. She kicked me out." Jamie held him tight, whispering reassurances, but inside, Jamie felt a knot of fear. He knew the Hargroves' power. Eleanor's influence in the Senate could crush careers. Lives even. The next morning, headlines blared. Senator Hargrove's son involved in scandal? It wasn't true, but the leaks had started. Anonymous sources claimed Corey had been unstable, hinting at drug use or worse. Eleanor was orchestrating it from afar, protecting her image. Corey watched from Jamie's couch as his world crumbled. "She wouldn't do this," he muttered, but deep down he knew she would. Her career came first, always had. Jamie urged him to fight back. "Go public. Tell your story." But Corey hesitated. Coming out meant betraying the family legacy he'd been groomed for. The internal war raged. Loyalty to his mother versus his truth. He paced the small apartment, memories flooding him, of Eleanor praising him at dinners, calling him her golden boy, while subtly steering him away from questionable friends. That afternoon, Lila called. "Corey, Mom's saying you're confused, that it's a phase. She's talking to lawyers about cutting you from the will." Corey's heart sank. Lila was torn, supportive in private but scared of Eleanor's wrath. "I love you, bro, but what do I do?" Corey advised her to stay neutral, but the divide was already forming. As days passed, Corey crashed on Jamie's couch, jobless and adrift. Jamie's support was unwavering, but cracks showed. Jamie's editor pressured him. "Dating the enemy? This could tank your credibility." Jamie brushed it off, but the doubt lingered. Corey felt the weight of his choices. His love for Jamie had cost him everything. Was it worth it? The question haunted him as he applied for entry-level jobs, his resume tainted by the family name. One evening, walking hand in hand through DuPont Circle, they encountered protesters against Eleanor's bill. Cheers turned to boos when someone recognized Corey. "Traitor's son," a voice yelled. Corey pulled away from Jamie's grasp instinctively, shame burning his cheeks. Jamie's eyes filled with hurt. Are you ashamed of us? Corey shook his head, but the damage was done. That night, they argued. Corey defending his caution, Jamie pushing for openness. The tension built. Corey received a letter from Eleanor's lawyer. Cease contact or face defamation suits. It was a bluff, but it terrified him. He confided in Jamie, who suggested therapy. We can't let her win. But Corey's inner conflict deepened. Was he strong enough to defy her? Or would he crumble under the pressure? By the end of the week, Corey made a decision. He'd confront Eleanor at her office. Sneaking past security with an old badge, he burst in. Mom, we need to talk. She looked up, unmoved. There's nothing to say. You've made your choice. Her coldness shattered him. As he left, tears streaming, he realized the erasure was complete. But in that pain, a spark of rebellion ignited. Corey stared at the rejection email on his laptop. Another job turned him down, citing conflicts of interest. It had been 2 weeks since the limo incident, and Eleanor's shadow loomed larger. Jamie tried to lighten the mood with takeout Chinese, but Corey pushed the food away. How can I eat when she's destroying me? Jamie sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. We fight back. I have connections. Let's leak the truth. The idea terrified Corey. Leaking meant war, exposing family secrets. But staying silent meant surrender. That night, as they lay in bed, Jamie traced circles on Corey's back. I love you, but I can't watch you fade away. Corey turned, their foreheads touching. I love you too. That's why I did this. The moment was tender, a brief oasis in the storm. The next day, Corey met Lila in a neutral coffee shop in Arlington. She hugged him fiercely. Mom's unhinged. She's pushing that bill harder, using you as fuel. Lila revealed Eleanor's plan. A press conference denouncing deviant influences. Corey's stomach churned. She's using me to rally her base? Lila nodded, tears welling. I tried talking to her, but she shut me down. Said family loyalty means everything. Back at the apartment, Corey confided in Jamie. Lila's caught in the middle. If I go public, it hurts her too. Jamie's patience thinned. And if you don't, we lose everything. The argument escalated, Corey accusing Jamie of not understanding family ties. Jamie retorting that blood wasn't an excuse for bigotry. They slept apart that night, the rift widening. Eleanor's press conference aired live. She stood poised, voice steady. My own family has faced challenges from these agendas, but we stand firm for America's values. No direct mention of Corey, but the implication stung. Social media erupted. Supporters praised her strength. Opponents called her heartless. Corey watched, fists clenched. A text from an old friend. Dude, sorry about your mom. Hang in there. Motivated, Corey reached out to a former colleague, Mark, who was secretly gay and worked in progressive circles. They met at a bar in Adams Morgan. Mark listened intently. Eleanor's bill could set us back decades. If you're willing, your story could stop it. Corey weighed the betrayal, exposing his mother versus saving others from her policies. What if it destroys her career? Mark shrugged. She chose this path. Jamie encouraged the alliance, but doubt crept in. Covering a story on LGBTQ rights, Jamie faced backlash from colleagues. Sleeping with the Hargrove kid? Conflict much. He defended Corey fiercely, but the isolation grew. One night, after a heated editorial meeting, Jamie came home drunk. Maybe this was a mistake, he slurred. Corey's heart broke. You don't mean that. Jamie collapsed, sobbing. I do love you, but this is killing me. The next morning, hungover apologies mended the wound temporarily. Corey decided to proceed with Mark. They drafted a statement. As the son of Senator Hargrove, I can no longer stay silent about my identity and her harmful policies. Posting it on social media, the response was immediate viral shares, interview requests. But Eleanor's retaliation was swift. A lawsuit threat for defamation. Lila called in panic. Corey, Mom's furious. She's cutting me off too if I talk to you. The family fracture deepened. Corey felt the cost. Losing his sister? Unbearable. He met Lila again, begging her to mediate. Tell Mom I still love her. Lila promised, but her voice wavered. At home, Jamie held him. You're brave. We'll get through this. High on momentum, Corey accepted an interview with a national network. On air, he shared his story. The grooming for politics, the secret love, the disownment. Viewers sympathized. Polls shifted against Eleanor's bill. But backlash hit: death threats, doxing. Jamie's address leaked, forcing them to crash at a friend's place. In the chaos, Corey questioned everything. Was outing himself a righteous act or selfish revenge? The moral quandary gnawed at him as supporters rallied, but personal losses mounted. Eleanor's office released a statement. We pray for our son's recovery from confusion. It was a low blow, painting him as mentally unstable. Jamie stood by, but the strain showed in his tired eyes. We're in this together, he said. But Corey wondered if love could survive the war. The interview aftermath was a whirlwind. Corey's phone rang non-stop. Reporters, activists, even distant relatives. One call stood out. From his father, Richard, who had divorced Eleanor years ago and lived quietly in California. Son, I'm proud of you. I always suspected, but your mother, she's unyielding. Richard offered financial help, a lifeline Corey desperately needed. Grateful, Corey wired the money to pay rent on a new, secure apartment in Silver Spring. Jamie helped pack, their hands brushing in quiet moments. This feels like a fresh start, Jamie said optimistically. But Corey knew better. The battle was far from over. Eleanor's bill advanced to committee, her allies circling wagons. Mark connected Corey with a LGBTQ advocacy group. At their DC headquarters, he met others with similar stories: disowned kids, fired employees. It awakened him to the broader fight. Your visibility matters, the director said. Corey volunteered, channeling pain into purpose. But internally, guilt festered. Had he betrayed his mother irrevocably? Lila visited secretly, sneaking out of her dorm. Mom's monitoring my phone. She thinks you're brainwashed. They hugged, reminiscing about childhood, family vacations, Eleanor's ambitions pushing them. She wasn't always like this, Lila said. Power changed her. Corey nodded, torn between anger and pity. That night, Jamie proposed a date to recharge. Dinner at a quiet Italian spot. Over pasta, they laughed for the first time in weeks, sharing dreams of a future unburdened. Maybe travel, write a book, Jamie mused. Corey smiled, but a shadow crossed his face. If we survive this, Jamie squeezed his hand. We will. The tenderness shattered the next day. A tabloid ran photos of them kissing, sourced from an insider. Eleanor's doing? Paranoia set in. Jamie's boss called. This is too hot. Take a leave. Jamie refused, quitting instead. For us, he told Corey, but resentment brewed. Your family cost me my job. The argument exploded. Corey defended Eleanor subconsciously. She's not evil, just misguided. Jamie scoffed. Misguided? She's ruining lives. Hurtful words flew. Corey calling Jamie pushy. Jamie labeling Corey spineless. They separated for the night, Corey crashing with Mark. Mark offered perspective. Love in the spotlight is brutal, but hiding isn't freedom. Corey reflected on his choices. The come-out wasn't just for him, but for change. Returning home, he apologized. Jamie did too. They reconciled in a passionate embrace, vowing resilience. Eleanor's bill hit the Senate floor. Protests swelled outside the Capitol. Corey joined, chanting for equality. Spotting Lila in the crowd, he waved. She waved back hesitantly. Inside, Eleanor debated fiercely, her voice cracking once, betraying emotion. Post-debate, a surprise. Eleanor requested a private meeting via lawyer. Corey agreed, heart pounding. In a neutral hotel conference room, she sat rigidly. This ends now. Retract your statements, and I'll restore your inheritance. Corey stared. And if I don't? Her eyes hardened. I'll expose your boyfriend's past. DUIs from college, buried but diggable. The threat stunned him. Jamie had confided those mistakes years ago. Corey left shaken, the moral dilemma peaking. Protect Jamie or stand firm? He told Jamie everything. She wouldn't, Jamie said, but fear flickered. Corey decided no deals. He'd warned Jamie publicly, turning the tables. The press conference Corey held drew crowds. My mother is blackmailing me to silence my truth. Gasps echoed. Social media exploded, petitions surged. Eleanor's approval tanked. But the victory felt hollow. Lila texted, "You've destroyed her. Happy now." Alone that night, Corey wept. The price of authenticity. A fractured family, endangered love. Jamie comforted him, but the toll was evident. As the bill teetered, Corey wondered if change justified the personal devastation. The Senate vote loomed. Tension electric in D.C. Corey's exposé had shifted public opinion. Polls showed 60% against Eleanor's bill. Activists credited him, dubbing him the whistleblower son. But fame brought isolation. Old friends ghosted, fearing association. Jamie struggled too, freelancing sporadically. I miss stability, he admitted over coffee. Corey felt guilty. This is my fault. Jamie shook his head. No, it's hers. But we need to rebuild. They applied for couples counseling, addressing the resentment bubbling under. Richard flew in for support. Over dinner in Bethesda, he shared regrets. I left because of her ambition. Don't repeat my mistakes. Fight for your happiness. Inspired, Corey intensified advocacy, speaking at rallies. At one, he met Tyler, a young activist whose passion mirrored his own. Tyler's flirtation was subtle, but Jamie noticed, jealousy flaring. Why were you laughing with him? Jamie asked later. Corey dismissed it. Networking. But the seed of doubt grew. In therapy, they unpacked it. Jamie's insecurity from the chaos, Corey's need for validation outside family. Lila reached out covertly. Mom's crumbling. She's seeing a therapist. Hope flickered in Corey. Really? Lila confirmed. Your words hit home. But she's stubborn. Corey pondered reconciliation. Could he forgive the erasure attempts? The vote day arrived. Crowds gathered. Corey watched from outside. Inside, Eleanor spoke last. This bill protects our core values, but I've reflected on personal costs. A hint of softening? The vote. Defeated by a narrow margin. Cheers erupted. Corey felt triumph, but also sorrow. His actions had humiliated her. Post-vote, Eleanor vanished from public eye, retreating to their Virginia estate. Rumors swirled. Breakdown. Resignation?
Corey debated visiting.
Jamie cautioned. She might manipulate you. But conscience won. Driving up the familiar driveway, memories assaulted him. Childhood games, Eleanor's praises. She answered the door, looking frail. What do you want? Corey stepped in. To talk. The bill's dead. Congrats on that. Sarcasm slipped out. Eleanor sighed. You think I wanted this? I built my career on principles. They argued, her defending societal norms, him pleading for empathy. I'm your son. Tears fell. Not anymore, she whispered. But her voice broke. Leaving, Corey felt unresolved. Had he won or just deepened wounds? Back home, Jamie awaited. How'd it go?
Corey shrugged.
She's hurting. Jamie's empathy surprised him. Maybe give her time. But time brought betrayal. A leaked audio from Eleanor's inner circle. Her calling Corey a disgrace. Better off gone. It went viral. Corey confronted Lila. Did you know? Lila denied, but suspicion lingered. Was she playing both sides? The scandal reignited. Eleanor's donors fled, forcing her to announce a hiatus. Corey's advocacy soared, offers pouring in book deals, TED Talks. But success tasted bitter. Jamie's jealousy peaked when Corey spent late nights with Tyler on campaigns. "Is there something?" Jamie accused. The blow-up was inevitable. "You're never here," Jamie yelled. Corey retorted, "I'm fighting for us." Hurt, Jamie stormed out. Alone, Corey reflected on sacrifices, love strained by his crusade. He called Jamie, apologizing. They reconciled, but fragility remained. As months passed, Corey wrote his memoir, pouring out inner turmoil. Publishing loomed. A final nail in family coffin? He hesitated, weighing exposure against healing. The decision: proceed. "Truth sets free," he told Jamie. Launch night, the book hit shelves. Reviews praised its rawness. But Eleanor's response: a countersuit for libel. The war reignited, costs mounting, legal fees, emotional drain. The lawsuit dragged on, courtroom battles exposing raw nerves. Eleanor's lawyers painted Corey as vengeful, dredging up his youthful rebellions. Corey's team countered with evidence of her threats. Jamie attended every hearing, his support unwavering despite the toll. During a recess, Lila approached. "This has to stop. Mom's health is failing, stress-induced."
Corey softened.
"Then tell her to drop it." Lila mediated a settlement talk. In a mediator's office, Eleanor faced him. "Why destroy me?" she asked. Corey replied, "You tried to erase me first." Vulnerability emerged. Eleanor admitting fear of losing voter base, Corey confessing pain of rejection. They settled out of court. Mutual non-disclosure, no admissions. But a fragile truce formed. Eleanor invited him for coffee. "I don't approve, but you're still family." It was a start, though trust was shattered. Post-settlement, Corey and Jamie focused on healing. They vacationed in Key West, rediscovering intimacy. Walks on the beach, honest talks. "I almost lost you," Corey said. Jamie smiled. "But you didn't." Yet, Tyler's calls persisted, offering a job in New York. Corey considered better pay, impact. Telling Jamie sparked conflict. Moving? Without discussing. Jamie felt sidelined. Corey assured, "We'd go together." But Jamie's roots in DC held him. The choice loomed: career or relationship. Accepting the job, Corey proposed relocation. Jamie hesitated, then agreed reluctantly. In New York, they settled in Brooklyn, near where their love began. But adjustment strained. Jamie's job hunt faltered, resentment building. "You dragged me here for your glory." Corey threw himself into work, advocating nationally. At a gala, he met influential allies, but temptations arose, admirers including Tyler. A drunken kiss with Tyler at an after-party shattered everything. Guilt consumed Corey. He confessed to Jamie immediately. Jamie's face crumpled. "How could you?" Betrayal echoed Eleanor's rejection. Jamie left, crashing with friends. Corey begged forgiveness, but Jamie needed space. Alone in the apartment, Corey confronted his flaws. Seeking validation in wrong places, repeating patterns. Lila called, "Mom's retiring from politics. Your book influenced her." Bittersweet news. Corey visited Eleanor in Virginia. She looked aged. "I read it. Painful but eye-opening." They talked hours, her regrets, his hurts. "I love you, Mom, but I can't forget." She nodded. "Nor should you."
Inspired, Corey sought Jamie.
Finding him at a cafe, he poured out his soul. "I was wrong. You're my anchor." Jamie listened, torn. Trust is broken. They agreed to therapy again, slow rebuild. Months later, progress showed. Jamie freelanced successfully. Corey balanced work. But a final test: Eleanor's invitation to a family dinner. Jamie encouraged, "Go. Heal." At the table, awkward silences gave way to tentative laughs. Lila beamed. Eleanor toasted, to second chances. Yet undercurrents remained. Eleanor's old allies whispered, plotting comebacks. Corey sensed it, vigilance returning. Reconciliation with Eleanor progressed unevenly. Family therapy sessions revealed deep-seated issues, her conservative upbringing clashing with Corey's identity. "I feared for your soul," she admitted. Corey challenged. "And my happiness?" Breakthroughs came, but scars lingered. Jamie and Corey's relationship mended gradually. Dates, shared goals. Jamie proposed, "Marry me?" Corey accepted tearfully, a symbol of triumph. Planning the wedding, they invited Eleanor hesitantly. She attended, her presence a mixed blessing. Supporters boycotted, but it signaled change. The ceremony in Central Park was intimate, vows echoing commitments. "Through betrayals and battles," Corey said. Jamie added, "to truth and love." Honeymoon in Europe brought peace, but reality awaited. Back home, Eleanor's past caught up. A scandal from her allies implicating her in cover-ups. Media hounded Corey. "Comment on your mother?" He defended her mildly, prioritizing family. But the strain resurfaced. Jamie urged distance. "She's toxic." Internal conflict peaked. Corey chose boundaries. Support Eleanor privately, advocate publicly. Lila graduated, moving to New York, strengthening sibling bonds. Years passed. Corey's advocacy led to policy wins. He and Jamie adopted a child, building the family denied to him. Eleanor visited occasionally, softening with grandparenthood. But old prejudices surfaced in subtle ways, comments on traditional roles. One evening, reflecting on his journey, Corey wrote a follow-up book. It detailed the costs, lost years, broken trust, but also growth. Launching it, he spoke, "Love demands sacrifice, but hate demands more." The story circled back to that limo night, a pivotal choice. Corey wondered, had he chosen silence, would happiness elude him still? In the end, as he held Jamie's hand watching their child play, peace settled. But the question lingered for all. Was a mother's rejection ever justified by her beliefs? Or is it always a betrayal of unconditional love?